In this video, we'll be looking at problem 2.6 on page 30. And again, in chapter 2, we're working with how to describe data or statistics graphically. And in this particular problem, we're going to use two different methods: the stem and leaf and the histogram. And if you look in the back of your book, there's a prep card that has definitions of key concepts. And there it talks about a histogram being similar to a bar chart. The key difference is that it's used to graphically describe what's referred to as interval data, which you can look up there in the key concepts. And a stem and leaf is similar to a histogram, the key difference being that the digits make up the heights of the classes. So what I'm going to do in this particular problem is we're looking at the amount of time in seconds needed to complete a critical task on an assembly line that was measured for a sample of 50 different assemblies. The data is listed there in column A. And what I'm going to do is just highlight the range here of cells. I just click and drag. And now I'm going over to the sort and filter, and I'm going to choose sort, smallest to largest. And now you can see that everything's in order. So it starts with 30 and works its way down to 37.9. Because after this, it's blank. So I'm going to go back up to the top. And now with a histogram, what we need to do is have two columns. One for a stem and one for a leaf. And in the stem, it's just going to be the numbers 30 to 37. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. One thing I'm going to do just to make it easier to read is I'm going to align those to the left side of the cell. And then in the leaf portion of the stem and leaf, I'm just going to put the number to the right of the decimal point. So it would be 0 space for this first number, and then 1 for the 30.1, and we have two of those, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 30.2, so I'll need 5 2s, 4, 5, and then I've got two 30.3s there, 3, a 30.4, 30.5, 3 30.6s, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 30.7s, 3, 4, 5, no 30.8s, and 2 30.9s. So here you can see that the stem is the 30, and then all of those numbers indicate the decimal points, but we don't have to show those. And then we get down to 31, and one trick I'll show you right here, since these are going to be up here and we need to scroll down to row 50, is just above the vertical scroll here, I can click and drag, and now I've got a split screen. I can just scroll down to put 31 at the top there. And so now I've got two 31.0s, and then 1, 2, 3 31.1s, and then I go to 31.4, 31.5, 31.6, and 31.9. Again, if I hit my scroll lock on, the whole thing can just scroll down here until I get to 32, and now I've got 32.1, so I put a 1 there, 32.2, 32.4 and 32.7, and then I have two 32.8s. And that's it for 32. I hit enter, and now I'm down to 33. Again, I've still got my scroll lock on, so it automatically advances. I don't have to go down to the bottom. And that should be good now, because now I won't have to scroll anymore. Go back up here. I've got two 33.1s, 33.4, 33.7, and that's it for 33. Now I go to 34. In row 43 over here I've got 34.1, 34.2, two 34.4s, 34.5, 34.6, and that's it. So let's put those in. 1, 2, 4, 4, 5, 6. For 35 it's just 0.7. I guess what I need to do is align those left as well. In this case, 36, just one number again, 36.8, and for 37 it's 37.9. And that creates the stem and leaf. If I double click on the split screen, it will get rid of that. And that's all I needed to do to complete part A of 2.6. Now to draw a histogram, the first thing I need to do is create the cells over here in A2 down to A50 or A51 are going to be the input range, but I also am going to need something called the bin range. So I'll just put bin here. And I'm going to use as the bin the same thing I used for the stem. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. I'm just going to throw in a 38. I will also align those to the left. And now, once I've done that, I'm going to use Excel's data analysis pack, which I have another video that explains how that works. So I'm just going to click right here on the data tab, and that other video explains how to install this. So the data analysis tools, I'm going to click on it, and then I've got these range of analysis tools built in. Histogram is the last one I use, so it's still selected. I'm going to click OK, and I'm just going to delete the ranges so you can see how I do this from the start. So first thing I'm going to do is select the input range. I go right here, and now I just go A2, and I'm going to click and drag down to the bottom. And once that range is in, that's great. So it's A2 to A51. Those dollar signs mean absolute references. It automatically does that, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to take the scroll bar back up here. Now I click in the bin range. And actually, okay, that's fine. I won't use labels. So in this case, I'm going to go 30. So click on B13 or C13 to C21. If I had included cell A1 and C12, I would select this labels, but since I didn't do that, I won't use that. The output, I want it to be as chart, and now I just need to select a range, and I'm just going to select cell F12 to do that. And now I'm going to click OK, and it gives me a histogram here. And one of the first things I'm going to do is right click on that and choose to format the data series. And what I want to do here is this gap width. I'm going to eliminate the gap width so everything's close together on that histogram. So I'm just going to drag that arrow down to 0 and click close. And the next thing I'm going to do is just scroll down a little bit, and I can grab this by the edge. I'm just going to make this histogram a little bit bigger. So it's a little easier to read. And again, because I've got a new chart here, I've got different options available. In this case, it's obviously a histogram, so I wouldn't necessarily need to include the chart title. I could select no there. And again, it says frequency over here, so I don't really need this legend here. I'll turn that off. In the case of bin, I'm going to click in there and highlight. If you have a hard time highlighting once it's selected, you also can go Control A. And in this case, I'm just going to put times in there because it's measuring the times that it took in seconds, remember, from the problem. And once I've got that done, you can see that histogram. So in this case, in part C, it says describe the histogram, and it would be described as the histogram is positively skewed. So rather than having it equal on both sides, you've got the high point right here, and it's skewed to the positive side. So that would be it for problem 2.6.